Smooth. That music is so calming. I love it. Welcome to the Cannabis Mom Boss podcast. I am your host, Jenny Blaze, and I'm here to help Canna moms create and grow their own passion-filled and purpose-driven online businesses while generating multiple streams of income to reach at least 6 figures in your business. I have helped run and scale an 8-figure business to a 9-figure business in less than 4 years at my last role in the corporate world. Now I'm showing you all how to be a mom and a boss while modernizing the perception of today's cannabis consumers. So let's go. Like I mentioned on my Instagram live, I have some slides, so make sure you come over to YouTube and check it out. Oh, okay, today's episode. Happy Groundhog's Day, everyone. To everyone who celebrates. I don't even know if he saw his shadow or not, but it's probably one of the coldest days it's been here. So, and I'm still wearing no sleeves because, like I've said on my other show, I'm a sweaty bee, always sweating. But actually, this past January, now that January is over, we need to unpack everything. Oh, someone on Instagram said he saw a shadow. I knew it. Ugh. I've said this before. I freaking hate January. The entire month, like, if hating January is a crime, like I'm guilty 100%. It's the longest month. It has 31 full days. There's like no federal holidays, so you get no days off, from work really. And then also it's the coldest month. People are always on some kind of diet, either physically or financially. I mean, that's how I used to roll when I was younger. I don't do that kind of stuff anymore because I know better. But, now that January's over, it means we're one of two things. We're either on track with all of our goals that we made at the beginning of the year in 2023, or we're not on track. So if you are one of those people who is like, yes, babe, I am on track with all of my goals, whatever, then round of applause. We support other women. You kill it, crush it. You need a hype girl, you call me, I will be there, front row. But, however, if you're like me, you might not be exactly where you expected to be at the end of the first month in the year 2023. And, we, as in those of us who did not meet our goals, we can make the decision to just give up, throw our hands in the air and say, F it, or we can get back on track. So for today's episode, I'm going to be giving you 3 things that I do to get back on track, things I've already done that I'm already seeing results from, and how you could do the same. Oh my gosh, my mouth is so dry right now. One of the downsides of being a cannabis consumer, my only negative side effect, but that is easily fixed. Okay. Before we go on to today's show, I just want to make sure I remind you all to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on our live sessions where we have visuals, as you can see here, and an interactive chat. So if you're watching on Instagram, make sure you join us over on YouTube or Facebook. We are live here every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And as always, if you miss a live stream, don't worry. You can watch a replay on YouTube or Facebook, or you can listen to the audio podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or iHeartRadio. Also, if you're a Bravo TV lover, like yours truly, you may be familiar with my OG podcast show, Bravo and Blaze with Jenny and Blaze, which is live on Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern on this same YouTube channel, but also on Facebook and Twitter. The audio podcast is available on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. The handle is at Bravo and Blaze on all or most social media platforms. Twitter and Instagram are my two number one platforms, I would say. So you can always hit me up there. I'm also on TikTok and all sorts of everywhere. I don't know. I do have an announcement for today's show that I'm really excited about. And it is our Top 100 Charting Podcast Academy. Pre-enrollment is now open. This is where I will give you all the behind the scenes of how I got my OG podcast, Bravo and Blaze with Jenny Blaze, to reach number 8 in the top 100 indie TV reviews charts in less than 4 months. In addition to that, I will also be teaching how to market and scale and grow your podcast. Last week's episode of Cannabis Mom Boss, I provided the actual numbers from Bravo and Blaze to show how I was able to more than double my audience in just 1 week. So these are the types of things that you can do for your own business, and I'm teaching you how. So make sure to sign up to get the exclusive pre-enrollment pricing, which ends when we launch. Okay, taking that slide down. I'm going to go into, I should have a slide for this one. My mom news. Oh my gosh. By the way, I finally ordered some new glasses. These ones that I'm wearing are like older than my oldest child. And I've had like 2 pairs that I've gotten after these, but they broke. And so now I'm on my last pair, and these are so fragile. I mean, people would say these are vintage, right? What's 13 years ago? 2010? No. 2010? Oh my gosh, it's been more than that because it's been like 14 years. So I don't know what vintage is for most people. 14 years doesn't seem like vintage to me. Vintage to me is like definitely before 1990. So I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to move on. I finally ordered new glasses and I'm so excited. I think I need to get the eye surgery done. I don't know. If anyone listening has gotten it, let me know what you think. The only reason I never got it, because I've been wanting it for decades, like when it first came out, but like my parents were like, no, it's dangerous. Like, we don't know yet or whatever. And I'm like, I'm willing to take a risk because I know like 2 people who said it's amazing. But then instead of me getting it, my brother, who like never wore he could never do the contacts because he has issues like touching his eyeball, I guess. I should be telling all my brother's dirty secrets. But so my parents got a gift for him, and it was the eye surgery. And I was like so excited for him. I'm like, this is great. Like, I want to know how it is so I can go get it, you know? And then he gets it, and it's like such a big deal. Like, oh my God. His feedback was that he doesn't wish that on his worst enemy. And I was like, what? And I'm like, am I your worst enemy? Like, are you saying this to scare me? Because it worked. And I still to this day have not felt comfortable. I'm having deja vu, or maybe I talked about this already. Okay, I need to move on. I think I did talk about this before. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to move on. Oh, before I move on here, I got my mom news. So my oldest, this past week, it's been a lot. Like, having teenagers is no joke. And I said this before, my oldest is really making me put in the work as far as momming goes. And I've also said this before, I effing hate momming. I love being a mom and I love my children to death and I would die for them, but I hate momming. Like the cleaning of the poop and doing extra laundry and, all that stuff. Like, that's not fun. But I do love my children. However, my oldest is a teenager and she's really making me work. Her schoolwork has not been getting done, I guess. And also she got sick. So I don't know. I'll tell you more about it in a minute. But my 4-year-old, everything is great with her. One thing that's probably not so great is that she's been sneaking into my bed at night, and I secretly love it. And normally, I would say, like, that's not a good thing to do, but I can't help it. She's like my bestie right now. I love her so much. Okay, and then my 2-year-old, okay, she had lice last week. I talked about it, and I'm pretty sure we got rid of it, but you never know. Like, we're monitoring heavily, but she's also still potty training, so that's a nightmare too. But she's doing really well. I'm really proud of her. And her tantrums are slowly, like the meltdowns are slowly starting to wean off. Like they're still there for sure, but they're not as awful as they have been in the past. So I'm going to talk about my kids a little bit more for today's show. But before I do that, I wanted to talk about business, like pop culture business. And let me blow this up so you can see. Okay, so right now in business, a lot of people are talking about ChatGPT, artificial intelligence. That's like the hot topic, hot trending topic right now. And there's so much I would love to talk about that with, but I feel like it's such a huge discussion. I feel like there needs to be a whole conference on this one topic. So what I want to bring up today that I thought was interesting, being a female, being a mom, being someone who enjoys luxury and things like that, I noticed this week that Nike has been doing the most, and I'm kind of here for it. It's like, okay, so my other love is watching Bravo TV, reality TV. I look at it as like a study on psychology, sociology, anthropology. It's just like there's so many dynamics going on. Add in the viewership, the communities, the fandom. It's wild, right? So I also like luxury things, and I don't want to neglect like the things I like anymore. That's part of me being the cannabis mom boss. No one at my old corporate job would ever talk about Nike or Tiffany, but I want to talk about it right now. So what I saw is that they have a new collaboration together, Tiffany and Company and Nike. And I have to tell you, I was so excited for this because one of the things that I have on my vision board for this year is I have a bunch of sneakers that I love, because one thing that I want to do for 2023 is not to wear heels, and I'll explain why in a little bit. But it's kind of like for health reasons, but also for almost as like a protest in a way for women's rights. That's just like how I'm putting it in my mind. But anyway, so on my vision board, I'm trying to like up my sneaker game. And then I see that Tiffany and Nike have a collaboration coming out. I'm like, oh my God, did I just like manifest this already? Am I going to like make this happen? My sneaker game be like so on point this quick? And then they dropped these pictures that I'm showing right now. And I actually thought this was a joke at first. This is from Instagram. This is on Tiffany and Company and Nike's Instagram. And it says, don't forget the tongue. And there's a toothbrush in a glass, and it has the Nike swoosh. And I think it must have a Tiffany logo as well. Yes, it does on the end. So I'm like, really? I thought it was a joke, honestly. I thought it was like a marketing gimmick or something. But okay, a Tiffany toothbrush. I guess that makes sense if you are cleaning your Tiffany collab Nike shoes. Like, I don't think it's for your teeth, right? Anyways, whatever. There's a Tiffany whistle, fancy, silver. It's got the swoosh and the Tiffany logo, and it says, we made the, quote, bells and whistles, end quote, whistle. So I think that one is okay, I guess. I don't know. I'm not here to judge. I'm just like, I find this all fascinating that this is like, they probably spent a ton of money on this and from both sides, and they probably had certain like ROIs, return on investments, or KPIs, performance indicators that they agreed on between these two companies. So I'm very interested to see, or I would love to know more about, how this campaign actually does. But you can also see here, they have a Tiffany blue shoelace with like a silver, I don't know, some flare, sneaker shoelace flare. I don't know what to call it. Okay, that makes sense. And then the last thing that they have is a shoehorn. Sure, that helps. The toothbrush, that's a stretch for me. But this is just so interesting to me. Oh, so the shoelace, it says lace to perfection, and then the shoehorn, it says for a more subtle flex. Okay. And then I just pulled up a picture of the actual sneakers themselves. I did a poll on these because this is not what I was expecting at all. They're black Nikes, like the classic Nike style, with a Tiffany blue swoosh on the side with black laces, which I guess you could probably switch out the laces for the Tiffany blue that they made. But it just seems like very, like, I can't tell in the picture. Maybe it looks like it could be suede, but like, I hate suede shoes, to be honest. Like, I actually hate suede almost everything. And so for me, I'm like, I was kind of disappointed in this. I don't know how much they cost, but I'm dying to see them styled properly, I guess. I don't know. I just found that interesting and I want to share that. So I'm going to move on. Where are we at? We're 18 minutes in. I'm going to move on. Okay. To the main reason we're here today. And that is, like I said, January is over. And I haven't met my goals. But then I started like thinking about January and I'm like, okay, I got the flu on Christmas and I am just starting to feel better like lately. And I know this may be TMI, but I'm still coughing up like gross stuff. So that in it of itself is like something that took a big toll on my progress, obviously, for this past month. But also my kids got sick a couple times. One got lice. I was emotionally eating. I have been emotionally eating since BravoCon, I realized. And it's definitely because BravoCon was so amazing and exceeded my expectations in like so many different ways that I think that I felt like, oh my gosh, I can die now. Like, what is the purpose of living? Just kidding. That's a joke. Sorry if that's in poor taste and if I offended anyone. But literally, like, that's kind of like the feeling I've been having. Like, how do I top BravoCon? And I've thought about this a lot. So there are ways, and I've kind of gone over this. But also in January, we have like the shortest I already said how much I hate January, but also it has the shortest days, the least amount of daylight hours. And for me personally, I already struggle with depression on a regular basis, but seasonal depression is so real. I thought that daylight savings was over. Like, who changed that? Because I was so disappointed when they were talking about doing the fall back thingy. Like, oh, great, you get an extra hour. Like, I don't care. I wake up at 5 anyways. I need sunlight in the morning, and I just hate daylight savings. Anyways, so whatever. January's over, thank God. And now we're in February. And the upside of February is, for one, it's the shortest month. Love that. Two, we have Groundhog's Day. Great Bill Murray movie. I don't really care about the actual groundhog. And we got Valentine's Day, which actually I kind of hate Valentine's Day. But anyways, but also even bigger news for me, in February, we get to start counting down to my birthday in March because I'm a birthday monster. Sorry. I own it. That's who I am. It's my birthday. Okay. Anyways, but if you are someone like me and you have one big goal that you've been shooting for in 2023, or maybe you have a lot of goals, the good thing about being in February now is that we get to do three things, and that is reflect on January. We get to assess where we're at compared to 1 month ago, assess where we want to go and be, and then the third thing is adjust our plan. And we can use metrics, data, we can do all sorts of things to measure where we are in our goals. And for my personal situation, I'll tell you that, like I said, I had some challenges this past month. So I've been reflecting, and what I do normally is I look at all of my priorities, and the most important thing for me in my life day to day is to feel well. And what does feeling well mean to me? For me, it's having a balance of all the things that are important to me. And it doesn't mean like if I were to, do division of how many hours I spend on each category in my life, it doesn't have to be that they're all split equally, because priorities weigh in. And things that I try to balance are things like my own personal health, like how I'm feeling, am I sick, how's everything functioning, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, how's my family's health, physically, emotionally, and mentally, and then how is my work health and my financial health. And then along with that, things that are also important, but for me are not like very high on the priority list right now, because I'm only one person. We only have X amount of time in our lives, but also spirituality, your intellectual status. I don't know, maybe like learning is really important to you, which it is for me too. And I actually do have something that I have worked into my daily routine to make sure that I am satisfying that need of mine. But also like social needs. You need to go hang out with your friends sometimes. You need to get away. You need to blow off some steam. Like, all these things are important. But for me personally, what I reflected on this past month was with work. And I'm starting with work because that is a positive thing. I was able to launch the Cannabis Mom Boss Manifestation Framework with pre-sales even while I was sick. Like, that is so, I feel so blessed, like that's amazing to me. On the downside of that, some things were sacrificed, and that is my health and some things with my family, and not necessarily their physical health and, but like school and things like that. So with my own personal health, like I said, my diet has been off. My clothes have been fitting tighter. I know I've been emotionally eating since BravoCon. My back and hip are now audible. Like you can hear them when I move, which is insane. And I have not been on track. I don't know. January was just not a good month for me with all the things that came at us, with the sicknesses and the lice and all that, whatever. And then with my family is super important to me. One kid is not on track, with her schoolwork. The other kid had lice, and just we haven't had any one of the things I put on my vision board is more mother-daughter moments. I want to have some memories, and that for me, the way that I can make that happen is documenting it. Maybe doing a blog post or doing a photo album or something. It doesn't have to be extravagant, but whatever. So that's my reflection on January. And like I said, that doesn't mean that I'm not, focusing on the other areas in my life. It's just that these are the three biggest things that I've noticed. And so for the second thing that I do to get back on track, after I reflect, then we go in and we reassess. And so you look at all the goals in each area. And for me, my top 3 with work. Did I have to go so hard? Yes, I did amazing things, but was it really necessary? At what cost, And could I maybe take a day off or create some boundaries to separate work life? Because as much as I did well in the work area of my life, like I said, my personal life, my health, and my family's health were compromised somewhat. So looking back at my health, if I reassess what went wrong, I'll be honest, I didn't really have a goal. My goals always, to feel good and look in the mirror and feel good and, not be self-conscious or whatever. But not having a real goal is what kind of brought me down this road of being well, I'm just going to emotionally eat, whatever, the holidays happen, I'm a mom and it's all about getting the right presents, being fair, making sure no one gets offended, all this stuff that happens at the end of the year, it's exhausting. And like I said, I emotionally eat, I own it. Anyways, my family, I'm reassessing. How did all my daughter's schoolwork fall through the cracks? Where are the gaps here? Am I not spending enough time with her? Is she okay emotionally and socially? What about her activities? Wrestling seems to be going good. With my youngest, how did I miss the lice? I literally braid my daughter's hair every single day, and I don't know what lice looks like. By the way, I have this theory because I Googled, and it said that lice is more common in Caucasians. And I'm half Caucasian, half Asian, and my daughters are obviously half of that, and then their father is half white, half I guess you could say he's half Colombian. So they have a mix of their Caucasian genes, and only my youngest got it, even though they're always together. It's wild to me that the other one didn't get it. So I'm wondering, is there something with Caucasian hair that attracts lice more? Because I didn't get it either, and neither did my older child. Anyways, okay, whatever. That's a side note about lice. Anyways, the third thing that I do after reflecting, reassessing, now we're going to readjust, okay? And so for work, already I set boundaries. This past week on Monday, I am now making a new rule in my routine. Monday mornings are for me. Meaning anything I didn't get caught up personally, in my personal life over the weekend, anything I need to get done before this week gets away from us, whatever, time goes by fast. I've already put that into my schedule and I'm loving it already. Monday morning, I didn't schedule any meetings. I didn't overpromise anything. I just had the opportunity to take care of my business, admin stuff finally. And having that time once a week, I think is going to make a huge, huge impact, because that's one area in my business that I think I've been slacking a little bit, is like being more organized with all of my bookkeeping and stuff like that. So now I have time for that. And like I said, I'm not taking meetings and things like that. Sometimes you have to shift and pivot, take things off your plate so you can put more things that are more fruitful, that are more advantageous to you on your plate. I hope that makes sense. But also for me, like, it turned down my hustle rate a lot. And that's been a goal of mine for this year. Is last year I was in this place of, I need to talk to every single person. I need to get an idea of what the landscape is like, who's out there, who's the heavy hitters, who are like the needle in the haystack, who just needs some help. Like, I've been just doing my research for the past year, and I got so much, there was so much abundance that now I'm at the point where I have to say no to a lot of things so that I can stay focused on what's important for me. And as much as I respect the hustle, I respect when people show their hustle. Like, I love that. I think that's kind of a turn on. Shoot, I shouldn't say that. HR would not like that. Okay. I need to get an HR person, by the way, if anyone is interested. Okay. So anyways, if you want to scale and grow, not just like personally, like there's lots of ways that you can grow and scale personally, whether it's moving up the ladder on your income scale, or if it means you have some full body transformation, I don't know. Or maybe you're just trying to like accomplish something like buying a house, like that's still like financial goal or whatever. But anyways, it could also be, you also might be wanting to elevate your business as well. And in order to, I already said this, but in order to scale, you really need to take out things that are not aligned with what you've been previously doing. You can't expect change if you just keep doing the same thing that you're always doing. So as far as my health goes, I mentioned before, I didn't really have a specific goal. So what I did to get back on track is I used my own manifestation framework. I had to, because like I said, it's a tried and true method of getting on track, figuring out what your goals are, what are your obstacles, where are the gaps, how do we do this? Let's get a plan, let's get tasks, let's assign people, let's get due dates. That's where I thrive. And so one of the things that I needed to do that I know is I had to create a SMART goal for my health. And so one thing I came up with is I want to be able to hold a 4-arm handstand for 3 seconds before the end of the year. And so I did this activity like before, I did it like within the last week. So January wasn't completely over, but I was like, well, shoot, I haven't even worked out at all. How am I going to take the next step to reach that goal? And so I just started at first. Okay, so I mentioned to you guys that like I had something wrong with my leg. I don't know, did I mention it? So I realized every morning when I was waking up in January, just as a reminder, I was sick a lot, and workout or exercise, I noticed every time I was walking, my left calf was so tight and it was hurting so bad. I'm like, I have not done any calf exercises. Like, what is going on here? So then I just like went back to my roots of my nutrition and wellness education from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, but also my hot yoga instructor training, where we learn about how everything in our body is connected. If you don't believe me, look up Google myofascial unwinding. It's wild. And even Whitney Rose talked about this on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, how she was getting physical manifestations of like trauma from her past. And so I don't know if my calf situation is from deep, deep trauma, but I do know at BravoCon, I was literally dragged in heels one night with my two lovely friends that I love so much, and I don't regret any of it. But that has to do with why I'm not wearing heels anymore for 2023, because I started doing body work. Before I started jumping into like, let me go work out, let me run, let me do a whole hour and a half of hot yoga or whatever, all I did was just, I reflected, okay, I haven't been working out. I assessed, oh, snap, you know what? I feel something weird in my foot. I noticed I don't want to show my foot right now, but if this is my foot, like the side part of my foot was all tight. And I noticed like that was the source of the pain in my calf. And then I started using a foam roller, which if you do not use a foam roller now, I highly recommend, because it is like giving yourself a massage, and it's so good for you, because it's not all about like burning calories when it comes to health. Like everything's connected. And like even when I started rolling out my calf, it wasn't my calf that was tight where I was experiencing pain. It was along the side of my leg, like that I don't know the name of it. Like your IT band, but on your calf. Your shin. And then the front of my shin was so tight, I had to just like keep rolling over it to work it out. After that day, I felt amazing. I was like, oh my gosh, it was like kind of sore, but like in a good way. And then it just motivated me to start doing yoga again. And I had my kid. So like when you're a mom, everything changes in your life. You go from maybe being like super cute with your Lululemon and like going to hot yoga whenever you want because you have no responsibilities, to now being like stuck in your house. The hot yoga place isn't even open because of COVID, and you have 2 toddlers and no childcare. How are you going to do that? So imagine you go from like doing hot yoga all the time to like now I barely do anything. So I just started going back to my trusty old YouTube yoga videos, Yoga with Adrienne. If you go to my channel, I think I have them in one of my playlists, so you can even see which ones I do. But I just started doing like the 10-minute ones, and I had my kids do it with me, which if I did this a year ago, it would not have gone the same way that I went this past week. Like, they are so cute. They were like, oh yes, like, let's do it, mommy. And they were just so cute. So it was like fun. And so now I have something I can do with them that not only like those are mommy daughter moments that I've been wanting to have, but also I'm, working out and doing something better for myself already. So I thought today my pants would fit better because it's been like about a week. I did yoga like 6 days straight. And I'm not saying that you should go hard like that. I don't even try to do that usually, but I was just feeling so good that I just kept going with it. And so I can like feel my core activated, engaged. I'm back to being a sweaty bee with my fan. And already I'm feeling better. Like, I don't think there's much that's going to stop me, especially since I'm a birthday monster and my birthday is coming up soon. I feel like by my birthday, my clothes should fit me properly again. So stay tuned for that. But also, while I was doing yoga for the first time in a long time, there was a moment where a headstand, she's like, if a headstand's in your practice, go ahead. And like, I am very well aware that just because I used to be able to do things doesn't mean I can do them now in yoga. But I just took a chance and I crushed the headstand. So that to me felt like I was checking something off for January, I guess, towards, my bigger goal of having a forearm stand. And I'm still going to work towards that goal. I have to be more specific on what my monthly goal is going to be for that, because it's kind of hard to gauge, with that goal that I have, but I'm just going to keep working at it. And then as far as my family goes, like I mentioned, my kids' schoolwork kind of fell behind. I had a meeting with this, or I think I talked about this last week. We had a big meeting, and that was really for like mitigation purposes to figure out like where do we go from here. But what I did was I figured out a system to audit my child's schoolwork. Did I want to do that? Hell to the no. This is the part of momming that I think sucks. It's like, I'm enraged right now that I have to audit you just to get your work done. But if that's what we got to do, that's what we got to do right now. So I did that. And what do you know? It ensured progress and ensured results, which is what we are all seeking to look for, right? And then as far as the lice situation goes, I educated myself on lice more than I ever have or wanted to, and we've been checking my daughter's head like psychopaths, and to be honest, I probably need therapy more than I need to become more diligent on my lice care going forward, but I will be doing both. So those essentially are the three things that I've been doing to get back on track that I know you all can do now and implement on your own to get back on track. And don't forget, I'm here to help support. I support other women and men and thems and whoever. But yeah, so, oh wait, I do have another slide. These things that I went through, these are the types of things that I go through in the Cannabis Mom Boss Manifestation Framework, which is available with a private and confidential session included on one of my offers. There's another offer where you could do the self-paced course yourself and not do a one-on-one session, but I think everyone is different, everyone is unique. Everyone has different passions, different purpose in life, and I think having a customized one-on-one session is the best way that I can help others, and my goal is to help others achieve results. I need to see your results. Like, am I being selfish for wanting you to succeed? I want everyone to succeed. So that's what I'm here for. Make sure you check out the show notes for links to all the manifestation offerings available. And if you are someone who knows they need to level up in an area in your business or in your personal life, you can use this framework to achieve the results you want, and I will make sure you achieve your results. Thank you so much for joining me. I see you, Angelina Rose. Oh my gosh, I wonder if you guys can hear my cat. He's like so loud I can even hear him through the AirPods. All right. Thank you for joining me today. Please make sure you are subscribed. And if you took anything away from this show today, please do me a favor and please share the link with someone you think it would resonate with, who could also take something away themselves. Stay tuned.